Hello guys, welcome back to the reactjs tutorial with a simple project YouTube series. If suppose this is the first time that you are landing on my video, please go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button and don't forget to hit the bell icon as well so that you will be getting notification for my upcoming videos too. This is the series where I am trying to create one simple registration login application using front-end React.js and then the Nodejs API and the backend. So DB is nothing but the MySQL. Last video, we have seen that we only created simple MySQL table. I explained that how to create and how to set up everything in the last video. Suppose you missed it, you can just go ahead and look at that. In this current video, we are going to develop Node.js API. Now this video maybe even will be going through some couple of videos as well. Backend development. I just created one backend folder in the YouTube video. You can see here, right? The YouTube video. Within this, I do have a front end and then the backend. Here, I just opened the backend folder. Within that, I'm going to create npm init. I hope you know what is npm init. If not, npm init will let you create the default configuration file that is nothing but the package.json file for your Node.js application. Of course, we do have other thing in the sense we do have other toggle event so that we don't need to enter this kind of details, but that is okay since we are learning from absolute scratch. We need to go through this kind of the setting. Here you can see it asking for the package name. I'm just let it be a backend itself. If suppose you wanted to change anything, you can go ahead and change it. Version, let it be 101. Description, sample YouTube sample project backend Node.js API using Express. Entry point, as usual, we are going to create one index.js file. Shouldn't be an issue at all. There is no test. We are not going to write any test for this specific application. Git repository, of course, as of now, I don't have any Git repository. At end of the video, I'll be telling you how to create one repository and how to download that specific, upload the data into the GitHub as well. Keywords, YouTube, just give okay YouTube Node.js, React.js, likewise. Author, of course, my name. License, general license. That's it. This is the default package.json content, and I'm fine with that content. Shouldn't be an issue at all. If suppose you wanted to modify the content of package.json file, you can go ahead and modify that. Here you can see the package.json file as created. Now what we are going to do is, since we are developing application using Node.js and Express, we need to have many packages to contact with the application. So that is what I'm going to do now. First, what I'm going to do is, let me go ahead and install some packages. Those packages are actually going to install from npm. That is why I used npm install and then the package manager. If suppose you are using yarn, that's okay. You can use the command yarn r and then the package, you can install it. Shouldn't be an issue at all. First and foremost, I'm going to install express and then nodeman. Nodeman is going to be the development dependency, so I'm not using it anywhere here. We can install it little bit later there. Body parser, and we do wanted to have a cookie parser as well. I just entered with that. Okay, it may take some time. Let it install. Whenever wherever required, I'm going to install additional dependencies as well. I'll be telling you now. Npm install nodeman. I'll be telling what is the purpose of nodeman as well. Just as of now, just bear with me. Hyphen save dev. Okay, so this is going to be the dev dependency. If you are using this package JSON file to set up your Node.js application for the production environment, this kind of development dependencies won't get installed. Here you can see that we do got dependencies. Under dependencies, we got body parser, we got cookie parser, and then the express. Also, we do after installing this specific node one, we'll be getting another dependency called development dependency. In that specific dependency, okay, it haven't added anything under dev dependency, just added in the node one itself. Okay, let it be, shouldn't be an issue at all. We can just proceed further. Afterwards, we need to have other things as well. Those kind of packages I will be installing whenever it is required. As of now, that's it. Let me save the file. That's it, the file has been saved. Here you can see that we do got a package log.json and then the node modules json. Within this node modules folder, whatever the packages that we have installed, everything will be available here. Along with that, if there is any third-party library dependencies, then peer dependencies, everything will be get installed automatically. We are not going to push anything into that repository. We'll be adding one dot git ignore. Okay, not here, sorry. Dot git ignore file where I'll be registering. You should not include not node modules folders. Okay, that's it. So this specific folder won't get added to the GitHub repository. As of now, we haven't initialized this specific repository as a Git, even though I just created it. Of course, we are going to use Git in a little bit manner. Now I'm going to create a new file that is nothing but index.js file, because this is the file I used as main index.js. You can keep whatever the name that you wanted to have. As of now, I'm just kept it as index.js. You can go ahead and create it. Now this is the entry point kind of thing in the application. We are going to develop a little bit small application, just going to have only two different endpoint. One is for registration and another one is for login. That's it. First, what we need to do is we just wanted to import express. For that, const express equal to, we need to require express. Along with that express, we need to have a body parser. The purpose of body parser is that we will be sending request from client side to the server side. In that request body, we are sending some data, right? We need to parse the JSON. Then only you can able to send data from client side to the UI side. And that, I mean, I'm sorry, client side to the server side, server can able to access the JSON content. Now, we need to require that as well. Require body parser. Now we are done with that. Why we need to have a cookie parser? That is due to whenever we are doing the installation, I mean registration, once after successful registration or successful login, we'll be creating some token, and that token will get added to the cookie. Okay, so whenever I'm sending some request, that specific cookie automatically get registered into the request header, and that will get added to the server side. So in furthermore request will be evaluate that header itself. Cookie parser require cookie parser. That's it. As of now, we have installed this thing. That's it. That is what we are going to use it. Furthermore, what we need to use is we need to create one application that is nothing but express application. Before that, let's go to the package.json file, and then we wanted to add one more script that is nothing but this section, script section. Let's have start. Whatever the name that you wanted to give, you can of course go ahead and give it. There is no restriction on that. But within this double quotes, we have to be little more cautious on that. Let's have index.js, because this is the starting point. Okay, when this is the starting file. Along with that, I'm just going to give here as node mod, because once I start the application, if I do any changes and save it, all those will get automatically reloaded. That is nothing but hard reload. Let me have a npm start. Okay, here you can see that everything is being updated. You can see that waiting for the changes before restart. If I do any change here and then save, you can see that automatically the content is being restarted. That is the purpose of having node one. Let's have a const app equal to express. This is how we'll be creating one express application. Now we have an object for express app. Using that specific object, we will be registering body parser. We will be registering cookie parser as well. First, let's register one by one. App dot use. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to register the body parser dot JSON because I'm going to send any data from the client side is the JSON content. So that specific JSON content will get added here as well. So I can able to parse the request body as a JSON and could able to access it easily. Along with that, along with that, we may wanted to use app.use of body parser, same body parser. Here you can see that URL encoder. This specific function we need to invoke because sometimes we may wanted to send the form data as a request body. If that is the case, we cannot able to access that with a JSON content. We need to have it as a URL encoder content. That is why here we have added body parser that URL encoder as well. So let's try to have a something like extended. Yeah, extended. That should be true. That's all about the application creation. As of now, we have registered the required packages. We have started the application. We have registered one express app with body parser. Along with that, I'm going to register cookie parser, I mean use. Within this double quotes, I'm going to just give you cookie parser because this specific cookie parser helps to parse the cookie data. That's all. That's it as of now. Along with that, what we are going to do is, it is always a good practice to keep all of your route in the separate section. So let me create a separate folder that is nothing but routes. And then we do have a controllers. This is the general structure we wanted to use and not within controller. Outside controller, outside controller, I'm going to create a new folder that is nothing but model. I'll be telling you what is the purpose of model and everything. As of now, this is the structure of our backend API. Now, within a root, I'm going to create a new file that is nothing but register.js. Using this specific register.js itself, I'm going to have a registration UI and then a login endpoint. I'll be creating the separate file. It is no need to have a login, registration, forget password, each one as in the separate file. It is good to group similar kind of endpoint into the separate file. That would be the better approach. You can even call that file as a author.js. Within that, you can keep it. That's how it should be. Now, let me rename that. I think that is a good idea. Author.js. Within that, I will be having some a registration endpoint and then the login endpoint. Now, what we are going to do is within the route, within that route file, we are going to create the express router object and then we are going to add the endpoints. Const express, because this is the express application, right? Wherever required, we have to add the express. Using this specific express, I'm going to add further more things. That is nothing but router. Const router equal to express dot router. You can see, right? I do got router. That's how it should be. Now we are done with the express and we are done with the router as well. Along with this specific router, I'm going to register all the required router. So let's have router dot post. This specific endpoint is the post endpoint because I'm going to send some data from client side to the server side, having some data in the request body so that that specific data will get inserted into the database. This post, get, put, delete, patch, these are all called as HTTP methods, the REST standards. Okay, this post will be having a two different things. First one is nothing but the URL. Okay, so what is the URL? That is nothing but the endpoint. I'm just going to have it as a register. You can keep it anywhere, sign in, sign up, sign whatever that you wanted to have. As of now, I'm just going to have it as a register. This is the place for middleware and this is the place for the handler. Now, there could be some reason you will be sending some data that could be in the format of email, password, right? That we can validate here itself. To validate any such kind of data, we wanted to import const check. This is a separate module, then that needs to be added within the curly braces. And this specific data needs to be come from express validator. Okay, let it save. I didn't get any error from that. So what we are going to do is, here you can see that I'm using express validator, but I haven't installed that express validator. So let me stop. I just entered the control C, then npm install. You can use the npm I as well, shouldn't be an issue at all. Express validator. Let it install. Once it is been installed, everything will be working fine, shouldn't be an issue at all. Using this specific check button, npm start. Using that specific check, I'm going to validate the email, validate the input that I'm getting from the user. The first and foremost is nothing but the username. That we can have it here. Check. Okay. What is the parameter name? Which parameter name should I need to check? That is nothing but username or else email. As of now, it could be little bit weird, but when I send some post request, right, at that time you'll be able to understand it very clearly. Now, email should be in format, or else you can say that email is not valid. That's some kind of message. This error message will throw as a response only when we are getting failure from is email, because I'm validating that specific username as an email. If the validation is failure, then email is not valid, error message will get thrown as a response. Now we got that. Along with this specific check, what I'm going to have is, I'm going to have some password field. Okay, this is going to be the error message. Along with that, what I'm going to check is, I'm just going to check the length of the specific password that I'm getting. Minimum could be 3 or 4 based on your request, and a kind of a maximum, it's going to be the 10 or 12. That also depends upon your requirement. Okay, if that is not set, then I can pass it here as a password is not satisfied the requirement. Kind of, you can give whatever the field that you wanted to give, and you can able to achieve that. Okay. Now we are done with the endpoint creation, and also we are done with the validation. Now we are going to have another method. Okay, that is how, or that is why I just created the controller. The purpose of controller is to catch the request, process it. So what could be the method name? That could be the method name of register. Of course, we haven't imported any register method from the controller. We will be doing that a little bit later as well. So now let's go to the controller. We will be continuing the controller part development in upcoming video. As of now, that's all. If you have any queries, any requirement, any clarification, please put it in the chat box. I'm very much happy to help you guys out.